A historic world championship belt is coming back to WWE, plus more championship belts to be revealed. Also, we're going to talk about a big return and, of course, some main roster call-ups. As always, timestamps in the description down below. We're going to talk about Renee Young, a.k.a. Renee Paquette. There's some rumors floating around on social media today because of an Instagram post by Lena Zuniga official, who posted a photo of Renee Paquette, who actually stated in the caption, "Makeup for Renee Paquette this morning for WWE, hair by Liz Santana Beauty." Now, of course, this has got a lot of people talking. It actually came out eventually on social media that Renee Paquette is doing some work for WWE in the Performance Center. They're filming something. And of course, this is leading to some big rumors that Renee Young could eventually come back to WWE. And this would honestly make a lot of sense with Vince McMahon no longer there. Triple H is obviously trying to touch up the product, bring back some really good assets to the product. I think everybody can agree that Renee Young was very, very solid in the WWE. I personally enjoyed her work as a commentator when she did commentary for WWE. I also thought her backstage interviews, talking smack, all of those different things that she had done in WWE, I felt like she was just really good. She was the entire package. There had been rumors for a while that she could potentially go to AEW. And I feel like, Renee Young, Renee Paquette, she's just talented, man. And she should be on TV, especially in the world of wrestling. I can see her in multiple places too. I can see her on ESPN, NBA on TNT. That's just how good I think she is. Now, with that being said, we don't know exact details on the project that they're working on in the Performance Center, but I do look forward to see what's to come out of this story, and I'm going to keep you guys updated if there are plans for Triple H to actually bring her back for television or something like that. It's a move that I 100% support, and it's actually a move that I would look forward to as well. Again, WWE trying to touch up things, I think it makes a lot of sense. And they're doing more than just, bringing back people. They're looking at their developmental system. I thought this was very, very interesting because Solo Sikoa is a name that's been rumored for the main roster. There was talks months ago, instead of having Solo Sikoa even go to NXT, just bring him up on the main roster. Now, Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer newsletter actually mentioned that there are other names being discussed for a move to the main roster, and this includes Solo Sikoa and Indy Hartwell. There are a lot of talks about WWE doing continuity within the Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell love story, and that right there would make a lot of sense. One thing I 100% imagine to happen, just based on what we have seen on TV, I think Dexter Lumis is going to make his way into a feud with The Miz after kidnapping him. I think we're going to get a very big match, maybe at Extreme Rules, or maybe even Clash at the Castle. Who knows at this point? But Dexter Lumis, The Miz, Maurice, Indy Hartwell, mixed tag team match. It makes a lot of sense from a storytelling perspective. And I look forward to seeing how WWE continues to bring this love story to Monday Night Raw, because truth be told, this is one of those love stories, a wedding angle, all of these things where I just thought it was silly and it was kind of cringe and it was kind of dumb. But WWE really committed themselves to this story. And, Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis has kind of become a fun thing to watch. We obviously saw Dexter Lumis return to NXT and then get arrested immediately right after. So things like this is just, it's interesting because there's a story, and we don't really see WWE really bring that continuity from NXT to the main roster, at least under the vision of Vince McMahon. If you were in NXT and you went to the main roster, it's almost like NXT was forgotten about. And I think this is one of those things where WWE, if they can continue to do this at a great rate, people are going to get excited about NXT call-ups again. I think for a while, people don't care as much because they didn't mean as much. But if WWE continues to bring good stories and follow stories from one show to another, I think it's going to be a great idea. Now, as far as Solo Sikoa goes, I think he's a hell of a talent. I would love for him to be a babyface on the main roster because of the fact that the Usos and Roman Reigns obviously are heels in the bloodline. I don't know what WWE's plan here. It was always said that Solo Sikoa kind of wanted to make a name for himself without having to use the Usos or the bloodline. But obviously, it makes a lot of sense from a storytelling perspective to kind of put them on television together. They don't even have to be involved in a real story, but just having like some sort of acknowledgement about them, and there's a lot that could be done there. One thing I like to fantasy book is this idea of him moving up to the main roster. They're trying to recruit him to the bloodline, and he ain't rocking with their vibe, and he's, he kind of puts a target on his back because he chooses not to join them. then you could kind of build a story there. And I think WWE right now with Triple H trying to tell stories while allowing for good wrestling, I think it's a recipe for success. Now, one thing I really want to talk about today, guys, was the championship belts. This is a very fun story, and I want to read a story, a report that came. So for those who don't know, Belts by Dan, he is one of those belt makers. He's dropped some stuff before about title belts, and anytime you want to learn something about championship belts in wrestling, this guy is a really good source for this. So he revealed that there are some rumors flying around that Triple H is looking at introducing new championship belt designs. Now, before Triple H was in charge, we talked about this months ago, WWE was looking at making some changes to championship belts plus tag team championship belts. Now Slice Wrestling has actually dropped this report, and I thought this was a really, really cool one. So Triple H is looking at making plans to the WWE championship belts. Triple H has always been a huge fan of the classic Winged Eagle championship belt, and discussions are ongoing to possibly bringing it back. There is a belief that they would kind of switch it up a little bit. There have been some mock-ups. They can't bring back a classic title belt. They got to put a modern touch to it, obviously. But they are saying that Triple H is looking to switch up many looks of the titles, characters, and show designs, and fans are in for a hell of a treat as we progress towards the road to WrestleMania 39. So obviously the U.S. Championship, and of course the Intercontinental Championship belt got a makeover. If I'm WWE, I think NXT has great looking championship belts. I think AEW has great championship belts. I think Impact, New Japan have great championship belts. But Raw and SmackDown's titles, they still feel like toys. They look like toys. They look like merch sellers. And I think WWE has a large enough brand where even if they are trying to sell championship belts that look more like actual historical championship belts, I think it's going to be a great thing for WWE to just completely refine what a championship belt looks like in WWE. We know that Triple H respects the art of wrestling while still caring about storytelling and characters. And I think if you can make these championship belts look like a real good prize to win, people are going to get excited about it. Hey, if we're bringing back the Winged Eagle, I want Cody Rhodes holding that belt. I don't know what they have planned here, man, but I'm excited. I also think the World Heavyweight Championship belt, you guys know what I'm talking about, the big gold belt, baby. If we can get some sort of modern version of that as well, I would be really cool with that. Obviously, splitting up the World Championships makes a lot of sense with how big the roster is. So if we can do that, if we can ununify those titles, bring back 2 championship belts, man, it is going to be a hell of a time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.